Welcome back to the Pack Chat, our student voice opinion segment. I'm your host, Melly Suarez, joined by co-hosts Austin McAborski, Molly Pinkerton, and guest Tanvi Singh as we discuss this week's most trending topics. Let's get started. First up, an Arizona high school teacher is under investigation after dressing up as a devil and receiving a complaint for saying "Hail Satan" to students. The teacher wore devil horns while carrying a pitchfork as part of the school's Halloween spirit-themed day. His partner across the hall dressed as an angel. According to the student who complained, he was insulted by the teacher's costume because of his faith and claims the teacher kept pushing his pitchfork at him.
Some people thought it was funny, some people didn't like it, some people were like, whatever, they just blew it off.
But Hamlet wasn't a fan of it.
Kind of insulted because my faith, because I believe in God. I don't really like how he did it and what he did.
When he asked the teacher to stop,
and I said, "Don't do that to me," and I pushed it away maybe 3 or 4 times. And he still said it and still did it and like reached back. I was walking into the classroom and did it again.
So how would y'all react to a teacher doing this at our school? And do you think he should be fired?
Honestly, so I didn't really see the big deal out of it at first because a lot of people wear like devil costumes. But then when he said like "Hail Satan," I think like that's what like really took
I feel
it
like
down.
that's like not even that bad though. But like the thing is, he just kept pushing the pitchfork.
Well, yeah, I feel
and
like
after the student told him to like not do it. Like,
yeah,
it's like 5
that's
times.
weird. I feel like the costume aspect of it isn't that bad, but the actions that he was doing, that makes it a little whack.
In a later interview with the dad, he said something that I really agree with. It said, if you're going to separate church and state, you should also leave the devil worship out of it also. Yeah. That's something I agree with, and I know the costume might seem harmless, but as a person of faith, I don't really like the whole dynamic of devil and angels, even though it's harmless really, and it's not in malintention. It's just, I can understand why that would bother a demographic of students.
But also, like, his dad was running for school board and he did not win. So also, like, that like takes a part of it, like how the dad was acting. He just wants to get the teacher fired.
I mean,
I was like trying to see where you were going with that.
But like with the teacher, I mean, overall, I wouldn't say he deserved to get fired. Maybe like suspended for like a couple months probably. But you know, fired is a little extreme because he's probably just like a fun teacher, you know.
Maybe not to those kids.
Well, he's probably like, no, I'm saying like he's probably a fun teacher to like be around, you know. He just wanted to dress up for Halloween and
he
like,
did dress up.
you know,
he did dress up.
Just chill with everyone.
Yeah,
but I mean,
just went a little too far.
I mean.
Next, iPods are being sold for hundreds of dollars in the vintage tech section of Urban Outfitters. The MP3 players have been refurbished and restored, so they aren't just upselling the product for the aesthetic Y2K vibes. Many feel that since the iPods were popular in the 2000s, it doesn't exactly qualify as vintage or retro. So would y'all spend your money on this?
No.
I already have an iPod at my own house.
Yeah, I feel like you could just rummage through your parents'
I feel like
things
I already have an
iPod
and also like hundreds of dollars for like a tiny little big thing, and I can have a phone. Like,
if you were gonna spend hundreds of dollars, I guess I understand because some people like have a collection, like they like collecting old things and like relics, but
like it's not even.
It's not that old. Like wait a couple years.
Unless it's like an actual relic, like of like the past, that's like interesting.
Yeah, it's like when people have like record players. That's cool.
Yeah,
like spend your money on that, but
like an iPod.
That you can find like in someone's like dusty drawer, like
I would
in
say
your
just
house.
get a phone.
Exactly.
I mean, like as a kid, I grew up with like my oldest cousin like having an iPod. So like
me too.
So she has it and stuff. But like I never really got my own.
Same.
So I mean, if I was rich, I would like like
I had my own. I had my own at summer camp one time, and it had like 2 songs on it. I felt so cool. I felt so cool the entire time. I was like, yes.
I feel like it's just that selling at like Urban Outfitters is like.
Okay, that's
trying too hard.
unreasonable. Yeah.
Okay. Finally, a Los Angeles influencer took a trip to New York expecting a gluten-free scooped bagel. Influencer Taylor Offer went to a deli East Coast and requested that the employee scoop out the gluten-free bagel bread from the middle. Citizens of Los Angeles typically use this technique to reduce the calories of the bagel bread. Taylor was taken aback when he was promptly directed to, quote, kick rocks. He stated that behavior like that wouldn't occur in LA and that citizens in the Big Apple are rude individuals. So what do y'all think about people with picky orders like this?
Okay, I wrote down some stuff for this. I think it's like
annoying.
Dumb. I think it's dumb because if you're gonna come from LA to New York, it's just like the different groups there. Like LA is like very privileged. Like there's so many people that are so privileged, and they're all like I don't know how to explain it, but they just like, they grew up on a different standard and they feel like they're like entitled to have like the higher.
True,
whatever.
and people from New York just like, they're very serious about their bagels. You can't go in there asking them to scoop out like 80% of the bagel, you know what I mean?
It's just dumb, like you're not gonna go to
it's a waste of energy.
And I work in food service, and people with picky orders, they're just like, it's so much. But it's like, we'll do it, but it's just, I get it. Maybe that man was having a rough day, and he was just like,
well, if you're gluten-free, I wouldn't go to a bagel restaurant.
Exactly.
True.
Just don't eat the bagel if you don't want the calories, if you don't want gluten.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and that's all for today. But remember, T-Wolf Pack, there's always time to chat. We'll be right back after this break.